Hi everybody, this is going to be some sharing of my experience soldering an 8x8x8 LED cube. So an 8x8x8 cube has 512 LEDs, and I was almost one-third of the way through soldering the LEDs when I finally figured out how to do a better job of soldering. So when you buy the kit, it comes with a template, and you need to place the LEDs in the sockets. So what I found to be effective is to have the pins of the LEDs lined up side by side. So I'm not sure if you can see it, so I'll bring it up closer. So I have the pins side by side next to each other rather than them sitting on top of each other. So I don't want the pins to be stacked on top of each other. I want them to be side by side. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm trying to have it side by side here. So when you have it side by side, then what you do is, when I solder the pins, I move my soldering iron across the pins, and I try to coat the pins together. I try to coat them with solder. And after viewing quite a bit of YouTube videos, you see people solder. The way they do it is they have the soldering iron in one hand and the solder in another hand, and they apply solder onto the connections, and they try to apply it at a point. So I found that to not be effective, and what I have developed is this technique. So what I do is I apply solder to the soldering iron first, and you have to adjust the amount, not too much, not too little. And using these tweezers, I hold the connections in place, and I move the soldering iron across the connections, and I just move it back and forth like that. So now we have a coat of solder on the connections, and I apply more solder here, and I hold it in place with the tweezers, and move my soldering iron back and forth. Okay, I apply more solder again, and move it back and forth. Okay, so doing this, you'll see, I'll show you the end results once I'm done. So here we go, we move it back and forth. And you also have to keep the tweezers in place for a while to allow the solder to cool down. Otherwise, the connection isn't made, and the pieces will move apart. So, okay, we continue. Okay, I want. Hey, whoa! Got myself right there just now. So we apply the solder back and forth. Well, that doesn't seem to be a good connection. Do it again. Okay, I gotta apply the solder. Let it cool down. Apply solder. Okay, and the last one here. Okay, apply solder. Okay, and that's it. So now I'm going to show you the end result. Wow. So what we see, the end result is when you move the soldering iron back and forth across the connections, you see it's coated now with the pins. There's a coat of solder. There's a coat of solder. And with these little extra bits, I just use a pair of pliers and remove it. I just cut it off. You can cut it off. So this is how I solder my LED strips. Okay, thanks.